We'll start with the weeknight action, and we've got Maction on weeknights back in our lives again. Starting on Tuesday night, it's Buffalo taking on Toledo. The Rockets 15.5-point home favorites, 52.5 being the total in this game. I'll tell you this right now, and look, I know Buffalo is certainly in this conference this year had some struggles, some ups and downs. That being said, the 3-1 still in conference play to this point. I know the non-conference was a bit of a struggle for them, but you can go back with this Toledo team now, well into last year, maybe even 2 years ago. They aren't just bad as a double-digit favorite. They are brutal. They are horrendous as a double-digit favorite. You are not going to be catching me laying more than 2 touchdowns here with the Toledo Rockets, even though Toledo is on a nice run here in conference play. Win against Western Michigan, Northern Illinois, Ball State, Miami O in their 4 conference games. That being said, they're only 1-3 against the spread in those conference games, and the only game they covered was that competitively lined game a couple weeks ago against Miami, Ohio, 21-17. They got off to that fast start, and then they had to hang on for dear life. But they have been miserable as double-digit chalk, just absolutely awful when being asked to lay double digits. And it's been that way really since Jason Candle's been the head coach here. And you look at this year, more of the same. Western Michigan, 21.5-point favorites, did not cover. Northern Illinois, 13.5-point favorites, did not cover. UMass on the road, 19.5-point road favorites, did not cover. Ball State, 17.5-point road favorites. They only win that game by 7. I mean, Toledo's been a miserable double-digit favorite. I know this Buffalo team's not as good as years past, but you look at their recent results, and other than the loss against Liberty, they've only lost their 2 losses in their schedule outside of that against FBS competition. They lost by 7 at UL Lafayette, the Cajuns, and a 10-point loss against Bowling Green. So they've been competitive in their losses. They also have wins against Akron, Central Michigan, and Kent State. When you look at the Buffalo offense, they've definitely struggled to run the football based on what they've done in the past. Hopefully they can get that ground game going. But, their defense isn't that bad. And when you look at, Toledo or Buffalo defensively, they have had issues stopping the run. They've been better against the pass. I am worried a little. Toledo is definitely reliant on the run, and Buffalo's weakness defensively is stopping it. But nevertheless, somehow, some way, whether it's lack of focus, mistakes, turnovers, penalties, you name it, Toledo has a very clear track record of keeping these teams in games when they're laying big numbers like this. So for me right now, it's Buffalo, or you don't bet the game, and I'll probably will be on Buffalo here. They've been that bad as double-digit favorites, Toledo, the last year or so. What do you think here, C-Mac?
Yeah, if you've watched us for the last, 3 or 4 years, Toledo laying this, just we go with certain teams that just aren't good as favorites, and they haven't been one of them. They're 7-1, 4-1 in the MAC. They should win this game. That was the key, I thought, hitting this. You kind of just touched on it, but Bano was Toledo on the ground, 234. I think it's top 5, and Buffalo gives up a bunch. They've been better, but they haven't really played anyone. They're back playing Kent State. They're a little tougher schedule, obviously, early on. I can't lay it with Toledo, and they could win big here, but just because their history, no way. And they're not a good ATS team laying it. So to me, it's Buffalo as well, or pass. I lean over. I wanted to double check the weather. Here, I have this pulled up. I don't know how bad it is, but that's something we got to look at. It's pretty good there at the Glass Bowl. 37 degrees, 8 mile an hour wind. It'll be cold, but these teams are fine with the cold.
I agree with that. And by the way, I don't want to make a habit of promoting other sites, but better-weather.com, that's better with an O, obviously, better-weather.com. Take a look at that site. It's phenomenal for weather reports, and it gives you game-by-game NFL, college football, and it gives you the current forecast for that day at kickoff, wind conditions, whether it's going to be snow or rain, precipitation, wind miles per hour, wind in each game. So it is a great resource, especially at this time of year when, look, you've got to be aware of what the weather is, for these outdoor games, because especially when you're betting totals. And for this game, it looks like we have a slight chance of snow showers, but it's slight, 36 degrees Fahrenheit, and very light winds. So minimal impact caused by the weather on this game. So I would lean over too, because the one thing I do worry about, even though I like Buffalo with all the points, is their run defense is awful. And Toledo is going to be a run-heavy team. That's the way they run their offense. They don't ask Daquan Finn to do a lot throwing the ball. Throws it when he needs to. He's a very athletic quarterback. He can run. And I worry about the Buffalo run defense. So I could see Toledo scoring, but again, Buffalo, I could see them being able to score some points as well. So I'm with Conor there. If I'm looking at the total, I would also look at the over here in this one.